at a mountain range, and your eyes tell you a very convincing lie. They tell you that you are looking at finality, at quiet stone monuments permanently anchored to the horizon. Motion theory offers an entirely different map of reality. In this framework, everything is motion. What we casually call an object is really a long-lived pattern of structured movement held under constraints. Those peaks look like static rock because human biology operates on an incredibly tight stopwatch. We measure time in such short intervals that when a massive planetary process happens slowly enough, our brains misinterpret the data. We mistake extreme slowness for stillness. To see the reality of the landscape, you have to track the movement. Earth's outer shell is divided into massive tectonic plates that continuously drift horizontally toward one another. This animation shows what happens when horizontal movement runs out of room. When two giant sections of crust collide and lose the ability to slide forward cleanly, kinetic energy has nowhere else to go. The crust violently shortens, folds, and forces itself upward. The peaks we hike and ski on are exactly what this text describes. They are traffic jams in the crust. A mountain does not randomly pop up out of the earth. It is trapped compression, an active, ongoing event of terrestrial energy squeezed into a form that appears frozen solely because we cannot watch it fast enough. Drop below the surface, and the physical structure reveals a layered system behaving radically differently depending on the depth. Near the top, the rock is cold. The internal motion loops within the stone are locked tightly together, creating a rigid structural fortress. It is incredibly stubborn, and it refuses to bend under stress. Because the upper crust lacks the ability to bend gracefully, the ongoing compression builds extreme tension until the rock fails. It snaps. It releases vast amounts of stored strain in a sudden, violent redistribution of energy. Humans experience that release as an earthquake. Speed up the clock, however, and a slipping fault reveals itself as a rhythmic pulse. It is a high-speed vibration ticking along the edges of an ultra-slow process. Descend deeper underground, and that brittle behavior vanishes. Intense subterranean heat introduces what motion theory calls thermal jitter, micro-vibrations that prevent the deep rock from locking into that same rigid structure. Without the ability to fully lock, the hot, deep crust avoids breaking cleanly. Instead, it thickens and creeps like a highly viscous liquid. It flows. Every major range operates inside this mechanical contradiction. It is a chaotic compromise between a cold top crust demanding to break and a hot underlayer desperate to flow. To figure out how this massive structure stays upright, we have to look away from the sky and measure the invisible mass buried in the dark. Motion theory defines gravity as a relentless planetary demand for equilibrium. It is an organizing crusher constantly trying to flatten any concentration of mass back to a level state. Because gravity demands equilibrium, the crust's upward weight forces a massive structure to sink. It plunges deep into the deeper earth. This is a deep root. Without it, surface heights couldn't stand. The arrangement is constantly adjusting, bobbing to maintain perfectly balanced buoyancy. The elevation we measure in the sky is an illusion of scale. The visible mountain represents only the exposed crest of a massive, buried negotiation between the crust and its own intense equilibrium pressure. Back on the surface, the ultimate shape of the mountain is dictated by the weather. Humans usually label water, ice, and wind as agents of destruction. Under this framework, they operate as sculptors. They actively edit the raw, uplifted material. Fault lines fracture the stone into rough blocks. Rivers slice those blocks into steep valleys. Weather and gravity reorganize the falling debris, refining blunt geological trauma into precise shapes. As millions of tons of that rock are carved off the top and washed away, the mountain loses weight. The deep crust responds by floating further upward, pushing brand new rock into the path of the elements in a continuous cycle of rebound. You can read the age of the landscape in the tension of this ongoing argument. Young ranges feature soaring, jagged peaks. They carry the sharp evidence of active uplift, incomplete carving, and the fresh violence of recent faulting. Old ranges display rolling, rounded, and smooth profiles. Millions of years of wind and water have relentlessly argued down the uplift until the sharp edges weather away into memory. The landscape functions as a physical record of motion history, permanently written into shape. A towering peak is a frozen-looking wave in a planet that never stopped moving.